Welcome to the Practice Podcast, a show created by lawyers to help lawyers in life and business without all the complicated lawyer language. Let's welcome Bast Amron founders and your hosts, Jeff Bast and Brett Amron.
Hi, Jeff.
Hello, Brett Amron and all the listeners out there. Can we start over?
Wow, that is terrible.
That was terrible. What was terrible about it?
I mean,
hello, listener.
Very game showy.
Are you there?
So we are recording our 200th episode.
That means you have spoken to me at least 200 times. So that's like...
that's a lot.
That's pretty impressive.
That's a lot.
I don't think anyone else has spoken to me that much.
I think that's not true.
That's not true.
I don't think that's true.
It's kind of like when you have 3 kids, that means something has happened at least 3 times. I'm not going to say it, but...
Well, I don't understand. What do you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Where's this going?
So,
what kind of podcast
episodes,
is this?
May Lynn, hi May.
Hi, May.
She wrote us out an entire script, which I'm sure we're not going to follow at all.
No, and we're not going to read it.
History.
I think our listeners are probably already sleeping or they've paused and moved on to the next.
But what began as a marketing tool has now become for us kind of
cathartic.
I was going to say a hobby,
yes.
But I'm not sure if it's a hobby.
It's
Someone
not a
asked
hobby.
us, we've been asked recently, somebody asked us the other day, do you get business? Have you gotten clients from the podcast?
No idea.
And I said, I don't know exactly.
No idea.
But I don't know, but that's not really why we do it.
That is not why we do it.
Maybe someone who's considered, I don't think has a client ever said to you,
No.
I listen to your podcast? Actually, I have had clients, but they were already clients. And they said, I listened to this, but I really enjoyed this episode about X, Y, or Z.
I mean, it may have been an existing client, but it wasn't as if I got a call from a prospective new client that said, I was searching around for you guys and I saw that you have a podcast and I listened to it and man, I was blown away. So I'm calling you to represent me.
I haven't had that, but I have had circumstances where I said, oh, you know what? My partner and I have a podcast and we just talked about this topic on an episode. I'll send it to you or whatever, something like that.
Do we know if they listen?
No, I don't know.
And did they hire us anyway?
I don't know that either.
Okay. So to me, and I think to you as well, the purpose of this still in a way marketing, but not really, more about meeting people, learning about their journey, and just, I think, feeding our curiosity about people.
Okay. I'll agree with that. I would also say...
okay.
No, I would also say, I'm watching in our studio, is in our office, and you could see when people are approaching my office looking for you.
Good. I'm glad they're approaching your office and not mine, because they usually line up outside my door.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that.
All right. So can we go back?
I would say it's an opportunity for us to. It's a show of gratitude for us. It's a way of thanking someone and getting to know them on a more deep and meaningful level and promoting them in some way, because some of these folks are referral partners or clients or friends of clients, and sometimes we don't have the opportunity, at least immediately, to return the favor by referring a client back to them, but we can put them on the podcast and promote them. And also, like, many of these guests are people that we've known for years, and the kind of conversation that we have here on the podcast is different than we would ever have over lunch or some other Zoom.
You just get into stuff and learn things about people you've known for a long time that you didn't know, which is always nice. And our listener gets to hear that too. Let's dial it back for a second. I'm going to ask you today a question because I didn't get to ask you.
Maybe we just go back and forth with questions.
I was going to ask you
each other.
You nixed this question because I just don't think you know the answer, which is what's the origin story? What's the origin of the number 200? You didn't want to answer that. So we're going to go to another question.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, well, I think you're smarter than that.
The origin of 200, the origin of 200, it immediately followed 199.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Somebody had more than 199 items, and that's the origin.
My guess would be rocks.
We're done.
We're going to start with rocks.
We'll end the podcast now. So my question for you today is...
He's making
look at the... No, I am not making it. I mean, I'm making it up, of course.
Ready.
Like, we all make it up.
I'm ready. I feel like we're building pressure here.
Look at the face. He's got the smirk. Christina is giving the drum roll. What's your why?
What's my why? To leave things better than I found them. Every every
minute of every day.
Every time, every place, every day. I would like to...
You've made me better.
Make a positive contribution on this world. And wherever I go, you know this, when I go to the beach this morning, I took a swim. On my way out, I pick up a few pieces of trash. I had handled a Zoom hearing at my friend's house a week ago because I had a meeting right after and I wasn't going to be able to do the hearing and then get to my meeting. If nothing else,
Jeffrey Bast is nimble.
And I told him, you know what? I loaded his dishwasher. He's like, oh, you should have... The cleaning lady was coming. I'm like, okay.
You know where I live. You've never come over and loaded my dishwasher.
I used the glass, and there were glasses in the sink, so I'm going to put them all in the sink.
We've been partners for a long time. You'd never come to my house and loaded my dishwasher.
If you ever would let me rent your house as an Airbnb, I would leave it a little better than how I found it.
How much do I get out of it?
What's your why, Mr. Hamron?
Hi.
Christina speaks.
Christina speaks.
Nelson would never.
No, I just never.
Nelson would.
What's my why? To make Jeffrey Bast the best person he can be.
Well, you're doing a great job.
My why is to every day make my family proud of me, to make their lives better, and to make sure that they are, as I tell my kids this all the time, what's my job as a father? My job...
What is your job as a father?
Is to make sure that my children are safe, fed, of course, right? Housed, fed, safe, all the same thing, and happy.
Is it your job to make sure your children are
happy to the point that I can make it for them, meaning set them up in order to achieve whatever it is they want to achieve, right? And I use the term happy, but you're right. It's not my job to make them happy, but it's to give them the tools to succeed and whatever that means to them. And that's my job. But primarily my job is to keep them safe and to keep them fed and to keep them on a path where they can achieve whatever it is they want to achieve.
I'll agree with that. I think not that you're looking for agreement, but
I feel much better.
I don't know. How do you know, is that job ever complete?
No.
Is there ever a time when you, okay.
I don't know. I don't know if but yes, I do think there is a time, right? And you could see it with your parents as you've aged, right? And your parents, may they rest in peace. There's like this sort of flip of the relationship, right? Where you now have to help them, right?
Yeah. They don't, sadly, I never really got to that. Well, I never had the opportunity.
Well, but I think there was
except for my dad at the very end.
Well, right,
yeah,
right. Your father, right at the end. But there was, and I don't have to get into that. But there was a time, like I know for it's called the sandwich generation for a reason, right? You still have kids that you have to take care of, but your parents need you more than. And I don't mean to say what I'm going to say and how it's going to sound, but it's
you care for them.
Well, you have to care for them. You don't need them to care for you.
Right.
And take care of you.
Right. Yeah.
And there is a time in your life as you age and adult and have your own family where that changes. So I do think that there is that time where you don't have to, your job shifts. And then you become, okay, well, now I don't need to take care of my children because they take care of themselves and their family. But now I'm going to shift. I still can be the parent, but I don't have to. My job is different.
I think a lot about this, this idea of the parent, the parenting and like what is our job. Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with anything you said. I think safety, the idea of providing safety is critical. Happiness, and I know you.
Yeah.
Happiness is to me a choice, but I'm not sure it's our job to make them happy, but I understand it's our job to set them up to facilitate so that they can choose happiness or maybe not. Achieve
what they, and be, set them up to be productive members of society, whatever that means.
Right.
If you're a teacher, if you wanted to, work at a shoe store or work at a Shake Shack, like whatever that means.
Right.
It doesn't. So anyway, so
there's a lot of parallels to
right. So that's one component
too. Like we're parents to these kids here.
Right.
And when do we know that we've achieved success? I mean, it's not like for us, it's not, I guess for most entrepreneurs, it's at an exit, the time they sell or exit some way. But I think in a lot of ways, our firm is like a family that we raise and we want to ensure that everybody's safe, that they comply with fire drills like we did today. We had a fire drill in the office. A lot of debate about it.
But you only walk down 3 flights.
A lot of debate about
so
the
if
fire
there's
drill.
a fire on the flight, on the 3rd flight, or the floor that you go down 3 flights, you're in trouble.
They
just keep going.
want us to know where the stairs are. They want to make sure we know where
and get our steps in.
So anyway, safety. I think safety is something also we take for granted.
Well, of course,
if you live in the U.S.,
of course. But I think part of that, like you mentioned, family. I mean, I think it's making people better, right? Whatever that means,
and it's allowing them to make themselves,
giving them the tools, right? And that, like you said, it works. Always better
empowering them to,
but it also works here too. Like you said, at the firm, it's the same thing.
What does this have to do with podcasting again? I forgot.
It was my question.
Oh, it was your question. Yeah, your why. Yeah. It's
it was a good question. I know you didn't think it would be a good question. I just made it up. You were just kind of,
I like. Listen, I think we could talk
in my head
about the why for a long time because it's not that simple. Even my answer that I want to make things better. Picking up a few pieces of trash, does that really?
It does
make things better.
You
makes
make
me
the
feel
world
better.
a better
it's a small
place,
contribution.
Jeffrey. You do. I'm here to tell you it's okay.
How do you make that? That is. I mean, to me, it's like I want to do no harm, and I want to make things better, leave things better than I found them. And I hope this is kind of like the question of what do you want your tombstone to say, or whatever, something like that, or how do you want to be remembered? So how do you want to be remembered, Brett? There you go. Question right back at you. Very similar.
Other than as Jeffrey Bass' partner.
Well, that would be number one on your...
Right. Lauren Amron's husband. Father too.
Exactly. Probably that reverse order there.
I don't know. I mean, I think that he always worked hard, tried his best, and had a good heart and a good mind.
Yeah. He cared.
That's a very short way of saying that. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. They made people laugh.
I mean, if that's a requirement.
Yeah. Not in a clown sort of way.
That's your requirement. I mean, maybe that's something Jeff, maybe that's something you want.
Yeah,
right?
no, I was
make people laugh.
I was answering it. Yeah,
you want to make people laugh.
Yeah, I love
to make me laugh all the time.
Yes, but you're laughing at me, not with me, and that's okay.
See,
I'm okay with that too. If people can have a laugh at my expense, I am totally good with it.
In the words of Joe Pesci, am I funny to you?
What? What am I? A clown?
What am I? A clown? Right. This podcast is going sideways to 200.
This is probably not going to be released. Would be my guess.
It probably. Maylin's going to listen to it fall for chair.
So we've done a lot.
Christina says no. So Maylin, Christina likes it.
I do want to ask. Let's while we're on.
Let's talk about the.
I'm going to ask you some questions. So, what's your origin story? We talk about people's journey. Why are you a lawyer? Did you always want to be a lawyer?
Wait, I'm a lawyer.
Well,
are you sure?
You play one on TV. Or on the podcast.
No, I have a face for podcasting, my friend. My origin story. Why
are you a lawyer?
But I would tell you that my sister went to law school before me. Nobody else in my family was a lawyer before that.
What's the age gap between you and your sister?
3.5 years. 4 years in school, but 3.5 years.
4 years in school. Right. So growing up, and you guys moved. When did you move?
Several times. We're not going to grill me.
No, we're going to do. We're taking this deposition chronologically.
I'm not going to refuse to answer.
When did you move? You moved in high school. So you were in 10th grade, or when you moved to Boca from New York.
What are we doing?
Come on. Asking you questions. Answer the questions. You're on a podcast.
So you asked me the question of my origin story, and I'm going to tell you how I became a lawyer. So I was a finance major in college. I decided to take a history course, which is a small history course that had mostly poli-sci majors and some history majors, I suppose. I was the only business/finance major in that class. And it was pretty small for UF, which is pretty rare, right? So we had to write a lot of essays and all that. I was already thinking about it, but I think it was sophomore year. The professor gave me back a grade. It was a good grade. He said, "Are you thinking about going to law school?" And I said, "I am." He goes, "You should go."
Wow.
I said, "Okay."
Who was this professor?
Do
you remember the name?
No.
Could you find the name somehow?
No. Okay. I don't think they keep records that far back, to be honest with you.
It was the olden days.
They have physical records.
They might have
burn them.
Slates.
Exactly. They carved it into a slate, chiseled into a slate. Anyway, so I was already probably thinking about it anyway, and so that's where I went. I told this story a lot. I always thought I wanted to be a corporate lawyer when I started law school. until I started working for Joel Hirschhorn, who was one of our guests here on the podcast. And then I flipped to, okay, I think I want to do litigation. Took litigation skills in law school. I did the certified legal internship at the state attorney's office. And, with some guidance from Joel and others, I thankfully was given a job at state attorney's office and cut my teeth in court, albeit criminal, but, didn't matter. And that's it from there. I am here now. Fast forward.
We're glad on behalf of
nobody.
On behalf of
other than my wife and children,
the law
perhaps.
firm of Bass Damron, we're glad.
So, what's your
Christina said she's grateful too.
Thank you, Christina. She's so smart. She's very smart. She's very smart. What's your origin story, Mr. Bast? Do we have enough time left on the podcast to do this?
Do we have time?
It's good. I know.
Mine was less intentional. I had no
Christina's
plans
getting comfortable
to go to
for
law
this story.
school.
Go ahead.
I went to UF. I applied to one school. UF.
For law school?
For college. I applied to one school.
Oh, it's funny. I applied to two.
Got in whatever September of senior year, and then coasted the rest of the year. You
filled out the application by hand with a pen or pencil, right? Yeah, there was no common app.
It was a quill, like one of those Franklin pens, like with feathers.
And you did a calligraphy.
I had to dip it in the ink.
Exactly. And then carrier pigeon delivered it.
One school went to UF because my brother went there.
Yeah.
So I was always a Gator fan, like ever since he went there, and he was 6 years older than me. Shout out to Randy Bast, paving the trail for me.
That's right.
I majored in accounting to be different because all my friends were business majors. So that's how I deviated. But I think I've said this before, but I wanted to study architecture and then was heard from some unknown figure in my life that, that's like one of the hardest majors here. And as a result of that comment from some unknown person.
Who is this person?
I have no clue.
We need to track this person.
I never even took an architecture class in college.
I think you'd be a great architect.
I have told that story many times to my kids about how to not make decisions.
Don't listen to anyone.
How to not make decisions because, I never sat down when I was in college and thought about what do I want to do with my life? Really. I was just taking the next class. I was, focused on the next semester, the next test, whatever. So I majored in accounting, and in Florida, you need 5 years to sit for the CPA exam. So my intention was to go to work at an accounting firm after 4 years, and they will oftentimes the accounting firms will pay you to get your grad degree and get your 5th year, and then sit for the CPA. And I had offers from at least 2 of the big 6 at the time. And then all of my friends were taking the LSAT. And I was like, I guess I'll take the LSAT. I should just take the LSAT. That was really, this is all the reasoning that went. And
what a horrible test.
I jammed on the LSAT. I crushed the LSAT. So I was like,
of course you did.
Okay, I guess I'm going to law school. That was literally the...
You didn't know Jeffrey Bass was like just the brainchild. You didn't know that.
Yeah, it was the old scoring. I got a 47 on a 48 scale. So... I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to law school.
I like how he just threw that in there, didn't he?
I didn't just throw that in there.
I mean, he did. He just outed the 47. Wow.
Yes. I don't think it would be meaningful to anyone.
That's meaningful to me.
Different
genius. 47 out of 48. Genius.
Different scoring. Luck.
Didn't know.
Luck.
Oh, no.
Anyway. So, and then it was like, okay, I guess I'm going to law school. And I applied to like all the top 10 schools. I got rejected from all of them pretty much. And then got into NYU, and I did some tours with 2 other friends. We toured a few schools, and the rest is history. But it was kind of like
we are thankful for that.
There was never, I should be a lawyer. I want to be a lawyer. There was that was never part of the calculus. And
like watching Matlock and saying, boy, I could do that.
It's the worst way to make decisions about your life, and I would never recommend it. I use this story, and I tell the story as a lesson in,
don't do what I did.
Don't do what I did. Well, it's because when Hannah was a little reluctant to tell me she wanted to go to law school because she had always wanted to, be a neurosurgeon. And
similar.
She called me to tell me the day she called me. She's like, I'm a little nervous to tell you, but I think I want to go to law school. I was like, Hannah, I said, why are you nervous? She said, I know you don't want us to be lawyers. And I was like, no. I don't want you to be a lawyer because I'm a lawyer. If you want to be a lawyer and that's something you want, then you should absolutely, I want you to do what you want to do. That's the thing is don't do what I do, which is go to law school because your friends are going to law school.
Yeah, it was
because
different.
You don't know what else to do. Yeah,
different time.
It was the olden days. We didn't have.
We didn't
know about the future. We didn't know there was a future.
I didn't have any sort of thought process either.
Yeah. Well, but you were thinking about it, and somebody encouraged you.
But I was thinking about it because my sister was there already in law school.
Right. Which is why I was asking the age gap. And so she was in law school while you were.
Yeah, I was a sophomore in college, and she went to law school.
Right. Okay. And was she enjoying it or saying you should do this? Like,
Jeff.
I understand, but
enjoy law school? Like those words don't go together.
I don't know.
Especially first year.
Yeah, it's definitely
the first year of law school.
It's definitely challenging. But I think, for us, like our kids, Hannah and Danny went to high school together, the same age. They took AP U.S. History, AP Gov, all those classes. They read cases in high school.
Yes.
For us, the first time for me anyways, the first time I ever saw a case or even knew what a case really was in law school. And so
I don't know. I mean, I think maybe there was some history class somewhere, whether in high school or college, where you read, nothing.
Not me.
You didn't take history in college? You didn't? No, you were an accounting major.
I was an accounting major. Okay. Yeah, it was all numbers. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't remember, but I certainly didn't. And I know, Danny loved, he really did enjoy, he took some classes in college that he studied cases. And, I remember him calling, we were talking to him once and he was telling us about, he's like, oh, do you guys remember this case, blah, blah, blah. Right, and Lauren and I looked at each other, no idea.
Yeah, of course.
Don't remember that case at all.
Well, we had the question, we have a monthly attorney lunch, and each month it's here in the office, and each month a different lawyer hosts the lunch, and they come up with a question, and I don't remember who's
host
question.
In quotes.
Right. Meaning they lead the topic. They lead the discussion. We have a discussion. Right. And it's usually, some kind of business question and then a personal question. And one of them was your favorite Supreme Court case.
Right.
And so I asked Hannah about it. Hannah had a favorite Supreme Court case. And to me, it's like, had I been asked that question when I was 20,
no, I would
no chance
idea.
I would have had a favorite Supreme Court.
What's the Supreme Court?
I would have said the only one back in those days that I knew, Roe v. Wade. It was the only case I probably would have known. Right.
So, anyway. I think that's fair. Listen, times have changed, right? So we were talking about it with the not yet released podcast with Associate Dean of Career Placement, right, at Law School. We were just talking with her about that. That's coming out soon.
It probably will come out before we release this episode. Maybe. I don't know.
But anyway, we're recording now. And, we were talking about how, kids coming out of high school have to sort of declare a major when they apply to a lot of schools.
Yeah.
Already. So it's like, here's what I want to do. So they're already thinking about this in high school, and they're guided in high school already to start thinking about that. And nobody ever did that for us.
Oh, yeah.
And they're thinking about that, and then they're thinking about that through college, whether they change and pivot in college, whatever, but they're already starting that process when they get there as a freshman in college. And I was just talking to a kid who was a freshman, a friend's son, and he was telling me that he's trying to get an internship, like a substantive, meaningful internship in an area that he wants to explore as a freshman. And I'm like, okay, I'm happy to help. And he's a brilliant, smart kid, but he's a freshman in college.
Did you work when you were in college or in the summers?
I worked in the summers, and I worked during school. Cool. A little bit, yeah.
Oh, yeah? What'd you do?
One job I had was a busboy at Chili's in Gainesville. The Chili's in Gainesville and Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked there.
The night we got our LSAT scores, we all celebrated there.
Well, maybe I served you. No.
Yeah.
I was a busboy for a period of time.
What year
I
was
worked
this?
there. I don't know, my sophomore year. Spring of my sophomore year.
Oh, yeah,
And I quit pretty abruptly based upon something that the manager asked me to do. And I was like, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, come on. You got to tell us. You got to tell us. What was it? What did they ask? Come on. Can you tell? Can you ask? Can you tell it?
It's such a stupid story. It really, are we going to do this on this podcast?
We're already halfway through it.
Busboy, obviously, right? So I put everything from the table into a bin, a bin I'd carry back into the back. Plates go where the dishwasher is, and then you dump the trash.
Right.
Well, there was this cover on the trash that had like this metal thing in it that would catch like ramekins and things like that. So it didn't go to the trash, right? Because people throw. Okay. So I was doing it and dumping. I kept going back, and the top was off, and there was like this plastic bin on the top with trash in. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I just dumped the trash in. I took the ramekins out. I dumped the trash in. And I put the top back on, the trash can. I did it a couple times.
To fix it, to make it the way it should be.
Yeah. Okay. So the manager sees me do it one time and he's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm putting the can. Someone keeps moving removing the top of the trash can. I don't understand. And he's like, yeah, it was me. And I said, why would you do that? He's like, I want you to rummage through the trash. I said, I'm not doing that. And he said, no, you need to rummage through the trash. I said, that's not my job. Because he's a manager at Chili's, Jeff.
So he's
and that was the highest. My guess is
over you. Is that the idea?
A, yes, and B, my guess is that's the highest job that guy's going to have. So in his career, based upon his leadership skills.
Bill, if you're listening.
Exactly. And I was like, you know what? And I had already been working all semester and it was coming to the summer and I'm like, I'm done. I'm out.
You walked out right there?
No.
Finish your shift?
I finished my shift, yeah. Nice. I was like, I'm not doing
responsible. I like it.
Yeah, I did that once at I was supposed to work at a yogurt store. I'm telling you this story now.
Yeah, please.
This was in high school.
Okay.
Junior year. I got a job at TCBY. Does anybody remember what that was?
Of course.
The country's best yogurt? Yeah.
Yeah.
Chemicals galore. Anyway, I got a job there.
It's a little arrogant of them to declare
the country's best. If you have to say it, if it's in the name, exactly, it's not the best yogurt. So I got a job there. And when the guy hired me, we talked about wage and he's like, I can't pay you this hourly rate, but I can pay you this lower. But after a brief period, I'll be able to kind of up that. And I said, okay, that's fine. No problem. So I started working for him. And I don't know if it was a month or a few weeks, whatever it was. And I went to him and I said, hey, you promised me you would up the wage. And he's like, yeah, I can't. And I was like, but you said you would do that, And he's like, no, I can't. And I said, okay, then, and he's like, listen, you all are easily replaceable. And so, ouch, just get back to work. And I was like, noted. So I went and got another job, valet parking at a restaurant in Boca.
Nice.
I was supposed to work on a Saturday night at the yogurt store. And I went in on Saturday afternoon and I said, I quit. And he said, you have a shift tonight. And I said, but I'm easily replaceable.
Oh, nice.
And I turned around and walked out.
In there. Nice. I like that. What's interesting is that
I was a junior in high school.
This is right now we're learning the origin of 200. We're learning the origin here because I also worked at a yogurt store.
I worked at another yogurt store too.
I worked at the Yogurt Garden through most of my high school years.
It was excellent.
Anyone that grew up in North Miami Beach knows the Yogurt Garden in the 163rd Street Mall.
Terrible.
It was excellent. Yeah. We had salads and sandwiches and frozen
that's the garden.
Yogurt.
That's the garden in the name.
And all kinds of toppings. And eventually my brother was the manager.
Wow.
I worked there for
years. Basts reign supreme.
We ran the food.
The Yogurt Garden.
Yeah. 163rd Street Mall.
When was this? What year was this?
This would have been 80, probably 80. I probably started when I was 14 or 15 until graduated high school.
Right.
Yogurt Garden, yeah. So we both served frozen yogurt.
Yeah, I actually had another stint at another yogurt store.
Let's go.
I was working 2 jobs.
2 frozen yogurt
places. No, 2 jobs because I was working for my father and he wouldn't give me a raise.
You didn't.
So I went to get a second job.
TCBY didn't make you sign a non-compete.
Right. No, I had quit and then I was working as a valet and then I started working for my father my senior year of high school, I think.
Did your father own a yogurt store?
No. A different business. And he wouldn't give me a raise. So I went and worked at a yogurt store at the same time I was working for my father.
Because you had experience. You're like, hey, I've
done it. And so I worked at, I think it was Freshen's Yogurt, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. You didn't go to TC, this country's second best.
The second best yogurt. Yeah. He's trying to figure out the
TCSBY.
Right. So I'm sure there's nobody listening
down memory lane by now.
If they dare to start it, there's no way that they finished it.
I don't know. I'm interested. I think we've probably talked about this on the podcast, just how restaurant experience, I think, is super helpful in life. You learn hustle, you learn full hands in, full hands out. Like you just
communication, navigating teamwork, client relations, working in a team,
customer service, and hustle. Like just
and
when
grit.
someone's in the weeds, you help them out. You don't wait. You don't ask. You just help them out.
Right. Grit.
When a table is full, you clear it.
And like if something negative happens, which it will in a restaurant, I mean, it's going to happen. You just pick it up and you move forward.
Solve it.
Right? Solve the issue.
If the lid is off the can, you put it back on so you don't have to rummage through the trash.
Yeah, like why? No, that's not in my job description, is to rummage through the trash because the people at this restaurant don't know how to throw away the garbage.
Was that the worst job you ever had? Because that was another question I was going to ask you.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. Worst job.
For me, it was been working as a security guard.
Oh, no, you did not.
I had to wear like a...
Wait a second.
Yes, well, it was very brief.
Wait.
It was a summer gig.
Where was
in college?
This?
In like Aventura. I worked for like a security guard company, and they put you at like a building.
Is there a picture?
No.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. That's a good question.
We need...
Okay,
I am calling...
polyester uniform in the summer.
A polyester uniform, yeah.
My buddy, shout out to Ron Berger, said, hey, I'm going to work at a summer camp in Pittsfield, Mass.
Oh.
And they need a lifeguard. They need a swimming instructor. And I happen to be a swimming instructor. I was like, I'm gone. So I left. So I was like a security guard for 2 weeks or something. It was really just...
okay.
Truthfully, it wasn't that bad a job if you got one of those golf cart rounds, you get in a golf cart, you drive around. You stop people. You have no authority at all. You stop someone.
I am very upset that we got into this so late into this episode. Wait a second. I am calling out to anyone that is listening, whether it's Randy Bast or any of the Bast children, anybody in the family, Jaleh, somebody.
It doesn't exist.
Who has a picture of Jeff Bast in a security guard uniform that no doubt did not fit.
It's like,
and I need to see this.
You stop. You're like, hey, excuse me, where are you going? Oh, okay, go ahead.
See, I feel like you were called to that, like giving you more authority. Like you love that. I know you like that.
It was actually less authority.
No, you had less authority, but you played like you had more. I think you really liked that.
No,
I think you did. That's why you went for the security guard gig.
No, I don't know why I went for it. I think I was looking for
the power hungry.
Yeah, power hungry.
Okay, I'm calling again one more time. I am pleading with the public at large.
Being
anybody has this picture, I need it.
Way more fun.
You were a swimming
instructor was way more fun.
Well, yeah.
In summer camp,
yeah. I've done a lot. I mean, I had a bunch of jobs. But yeah, I mean, working anywhere is important. Having a job when you're young, we like to see that when we have resumes. To bring this full circle for a second, we like to see that people worked when they were young, or hear it from them, whether they're in high school or college or law school, whatever it is that they worked, because it's important.
Yeah. And to bring this full circle is that in recruiting, there's the time when people tell us they've listened to the podcast and the podcast was instrumental in somebody's interest in working for us,
full
lawyers,
circle
staff.
For those of you listening that are potential candidates to work at Bass Tamron, you better listen to an episode or two. We're going to quiz you on it.
And then if you get a job here, we're then going to put you on the show.
Oh no, that may just cause them to not
want to come to work for us. Anyway, Brett, I would say this was fun, but it was better than fun. It was.
Is that possible?
Because I learned a little bit more about you. I learned that we both share the frozen. I'm trying to speak here, folks. I learned that we both share.
That's the security guard in him coming out.
There you go.
I'm speaking. Yes.
I wish I had a flashlight. I don't have a flashlight.
Oh no, you had a flashlight. What was? Sorry,
you have to graduate.
I have to ask one more question. You didn't have a flashlight? You had to. Of course you had to.
I'm sure I had
What was the weapon? Like, did you have a weapon? Did you have any stun gun?
No weapon.
A phone? You didn't have a phone back then because there was no cell phones.
I don't think we had a. No, I definitely did not.
You had to go to the office and call. Was there an office?
Probably. I mean, you worked for a security company and you would just get stationed. They have a contract with an apartment building or something, and you go work at the the gate.
Did you work at night?
Yeah.
Did you ask for ID? Like when people came in, did you have to ask for ID?
I don't think
were you that guy who just let everybody in? Nobody didn't have license.
No, just kidding. But this is remember pre 9/11. You could pretty much go anywhere.
So you fell asleep.
You never had to check in somewhere.
Did you fall asleep?
No, I would never sleep on the job.
Never sleep on the job. No, that's true. Jeff Bass doesn't sleep on the job. All right, we're gonna
this is
explore
fun.
This more.
We should land this plane. Christina's giving us a countdown.
The plane has crashed.
I've never gotten a countdown at the end of the show.
I know. She's like, what? Okay, cut it. You guys are off. Maylin, by now, Maylin is picking herself up off the floor.
We promise that episode number 300 will be way more interesting, which is a very low bar. But 200, it's been fun. There have been a lot of great guests.
I think 200
a lot of great shows. Yeah. Go back, and you can actually hear our progression, because in the beginning we weren't so good at this, and now we're fantastic. Now we're even worse.
We're talking about our jobs as kids on our 200th episode.
How do we get to 200? This is it. Yeah. Yogurt. That's the answer.
And security.
Security.
Get back to safety and security.
Security. This is the episode title: Safety, Security, and Yogurt. If you enjoyed this episode,
I don't know why you would.
Something's wrong with you.
Yeah, something is absolutely wrong with you.
If you did, give us a 5-star review, and
please do.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
For more information on this show and other resources, visit fastamron.com and connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram @FastAmron.